Hi there, everybody. This is Jitters. Just wanted to make a quick video here to discuss my gearing process at the beginning of War Within Season 2 for PvP, and kind of going over my thought process and some tips and tricks that you might not know about in order to help out when it comes to making sure that you are getting a good head start at the beginning of the season here. So, in order to start off, you would probably be wanting to aim towards getting all of your green pieces of gear. This is going to be at a minimum item level of 665 in arenas and battlegrounds, so it's going to give you a little bit more item level than anything else that you would have acquired last season. Now, the ways that we can get this is directly through buying it from the Honor vendor here in Dornegal, and you will be able to actually use stockpiled honor from last season if you happened to stockpile it, and you'll be able to get a full, basically set of PvP gear of the greens here just by utilizing that honor. Now, if you did not stockpile from last season, that's not to worry. You will be able to get it pretty quickly here because the next step that you'll be going over is going and talking to Rufius here in order to pick up your weekly PvP quests in Dornegal here at the Contender's Gate. In case you haven't been here before, it's right over here on the map. And if you pick up that those quests there, you're going to be tasked with doing multiple PvP activities that will give you honor as well once you turn them in. So you'll be able to get honor from them, you can get some conquest from them, and you'll be getting your bloody tokens from them as well. So that's the next topic to go over is going to be bloody token gear. This is going to be giving you your prized warmonger gear. You can acquire about two pieces of gear at this first week here in order to make sure that you are kind of kitting yourself out, and those go up to 675. So always really good to go ahead and make sure that you get your bloody tokens, especially at the beginning of the season here where we don't have very much conquest yet, because you'll be able to actually get some pretty decent stat boosts from utilizing those. Now, how do we get those bloody that bloody tokens quest completed? You're going to be wanting to get Sparks of War, and that is going to be completed through having War mode turned on, and then you'll be going to the Undermine for this week at least. So when you're in the Undermine for this week, you'll be able to complete activities here to get those Sparks of War. Now, it is a little tricky, at least in my experience. I was not able to see Sparks of War as rewards on my map when I was there. So it was kind of a hit or miss of like what activities I needed to do in order to get the Sparks. You just kind of have to play in Undermine and kind of do activities there, and you'll be able to get Sparks of War as you're doing world quests there. If you don't see any world quests on the map, that actually means that you actually have to go to the Incontinental Hotel here, and you have to make sure that you sign up with a cartel for the week. There's no world quests on the map until you actually choose a cartel, so that's the reason you might not be seeing world quests there. The next thing is also there are 4 of these weekly quests here, the blue ones in Slam Central Station, and that will actually not be in the Undermine from my experience here. It actually took me out of Undermine into Gutterville, so I was thinking that this was technically within the Ringing Deeps. However, this counted toward Undermine when it came to those Sparks of War. So I think I got 40 of my Sparks of War in that method by doing those weekly quests. So definitely a good thing to do is making sure that you are completing those weekly quests in Gutterville there, at least from my experience when I was trying to figure out how to get Sparks of War from Undermine this week. Great. So that goes over how to use your bloody tokens. And if you have not used that vendor before, this one will sell you your green gear, this Honor Quartermaster here. There is the War Mode Quartermaster, and this is where you'll utilize those bloody tokens in order to get that gear. Now, for Conquest, we don't have very much this week. However, if you complete your first Battleground and you win it, or it doesn't have to be your first Battleground you queue into, but your first win from a Battleground will grant you 9 of these heraldries. Now, those are going to be utilized for your crafted gear. When you use it for your crafted gear here, you're going to be able to get a minimum item level of 678 in arenas and battlegrounds. How you do that is you're going to be able to either recraft gear from last season, or you're going to go ahead and actually utilize the crafting orders in order to build new pieces if you don't have any from last season. It's not really that hard to do, but if you are unfamiliar with the crafting system, I would highly recommend going to a dedicated video about that from probably last season, because it really goes in depth and there's some intricacies about crafting that are a little bit confusing at the first time, and it would require me to go pretty in depth when it comes to it. So you can craft gear directly from here, or you can start a recrafting order with everything that you currently have, and you'll be able to utilize those prized heraldries, as I mentioned. That will give you your 678 item level. Anything from this season is called prized. So as you can see, it's prized aspirants or prized competitors. And so, or I should say prized warmongers. But if you're using it here, it will be the prized heraldry. And then you'll be able to get your embellishments that you had from your previous gear. All of your missives are the same. And it will also keep your gems. So definitely a good system to have here to immediately get your best in slot, gear that you had from last season. You can really quickly upgrade it in this season. So definitely awesome to see there. Last thing to go over is Conquest. Now, I have not had a chance with the work week so far to actually queue and do rated information, or I should say content so far. So, this is kind of something I'm going off of, online here that we know about. But if you go ahead and you utilize the catalyst here, you'll be able to drop in even Warmonger's gear into here in order to get your set pieces. Now, what you'll be wanting to do is you'll be wanting to get your arena rating to 1600, and as you're going towards that, you'll be getting 1600 conquest as well. Once you hit 1600 arena rating, you'll actually be able to get a second essence to be able to utilize at the catalyst here. So what that means is you can actually get 2 set pieces. So for example, if I bought my conquest helm and my shoulders with that 1600 conquest, I would be able to utilize the catalyst here and get 2 set in the first week here. So from a PvP player's perspective, that's a really amazing thing to do, because you are getting your 2 set, and it's also being, since it is the conquest gear, it's basically the best you can get in that slot for the whole season. It's 678, just like, basically the crafted gear as well. So that is a great thing to do if you're a PvP player and you're going to really be aiming towards those high set, or getting your set bonuses right away and getting your gear pretty much maxed out. You can utilize that and you can get your set pieces really easily. Side note for PvE players, if you're planning on playing PvE at all, this is champion level, so it's not like you can really upgrade it that high compared to some of the hero tracks. That was kind of something that that I noticed from last season as well, is that when you're using a catalyst charge on this gear, you are committing to that gear. It's a catalyst charge that you could use on another piece of gear that you get from a delve, or that you get from a Mythic Plus dungeon, and it is something that you just kind of want to be aware of before you pull that trigger. But when it comes down to it, this is a great way for PvP players to get geared up in the season at the start of the season here and actually get that set piece as well. So when you come down to it, you can definitely get geared out pretty easily here. Even if you don't go for all of the min-maxing here with the epic gear or the crafted gear, anything like that, just knowing how to get your leather, the green gear here, as well as your bloody token gear, that's going to be able to help you out tremendously at the beginning of the season. So I hope that helps. I hope that everyone has a great season coming forward here in PvP. And until next time, folks, happy hunting. Hey there, everybody. Just one last thing I wanted to mention at the end of the video here. If you are interested in what exactly you want to be playing and what types of gear you need to be making choices about, there's a great resource here called Murloc.io. This is going to be able to show you top windwalkers or any class that you actually play in order to see what they're running, what type of talents they're running, and also gear choices they're making. Same with, as I mentioned, you can see a talents throughout the entire player base right here, most frequently used talents. So you get to kind of make your choices. It's not necessarily cookie cutter because you're not necessarily copying people's talents, but you're making an educated choice on basically what you're really running, and also where there might be some variance, and if that actually matches your gameplay style as well. So you'll be able to basically come down here. You'll be able to even see gear choices as well. So this plays with any class that you are going to be maining throughout the next season here. You'll be able to view them on Murloc.io. So if you didn't know about this, I just wanted to throw this at the end here because it is an extremely valuable resource here. You get to kind of make a more educated decision when you decide what gear you're going to be playing with, because as you can see, there's many different pieces of gear, especially if you're newer to PvP or you're returning and you have not really looked at the very much of the game for the last year or two. You might be feeling lost when you come back. So just wanted to mention this at the end of the video here, that this is an extremely helpful resource, and I hope you guys have the best of luck in the next season here. All right, take care.